Hey, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome to the fourth episode of the Hat Bake Podcast. I'm here with Nicholas, DeOrio, and Turkey Tom. And Nick, what is on the docket that doesn't exist for us today?
Well, today we're going to be going over some of the stuff that we've had in our podcast discussion section of our Discord server, which is the thing you can join right now if you jump on Patreon and donate. I believe it's $5. We're going to go over some of your things you've put down in there as some thoughts, and then I thought we could talk about some of these dreaded DMCA takedowns in the Twitch community, and I don't know, if we have a little time left, maybe we'll talk about Xander Hall and Willie Mack show.
What about the Xander Hall, Willie Mack show shit? Did that just pass right by?
I mean, it's not like really a drama. You gotta, like, these are two 50K YouTubers, so I don't really think the whole community is gonna go, wow, look at this. But I think the aspect of Xander Hall that was something that kind of drove community interaction was the fact that he kind of like spoke about guys like Mudahar and Optimus and these bigger YouTubers and talking about infiltrating them and then trying to bring them to the left, or at least bring their audiences to the left.
Which is insanely interesting to me.
Why? Why is that insanely interesting, Vega?
Because I think a lot of people have those types of... I saw the clip.
Yeah.
For once, I'm actually up to date, a little bit up to date, right? I saw the clip. And the way he described it, I almost like shrugged my shoulders. I was like, well, he's just pretty much saying what a lot of YouTubers just do. Or they talk about behind closed doors. You know what I mean? Where
yeah, he's just out there, though. He's just giving that to the world.
Yeah, just straight up. He's just like, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and stalk this one guy in the replies or whatever the fuck he was saying, and I'm going to make him my friend. And
this is a win. Right here, this follow for Mudahar. This is a win.
Yeah. With Mudahar.
I found it to be very like weirdly supervillain-esque, but if you watch a lot of these political streamers more on that side, you kind of the funny thing about Xander Hall is the first time I saw him, I thought he was like a Vosh or like Destiny parody channel, because he has like all of their same mannerisms and like to a T. It kind of feels like he thinks he is one of them or something, but he's basically a streamer who thinks that the best way to advance his political ideology is by expanding to every kind of corner of the internet that doesn't house his specific leftist agenda, which in this case is the commentary community. So yeah, he sees people being apolitical or right wing as against him, basically.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
it just can't
I've
be
noticed
you're just
that.
here, right? Making shit. It can never be that. It has to be some type of political agenda. You're either on the left or you're right, or some weird fucking alt section of both those sides. It can't be, I like making shit. Oh, that's funny. This guy's stupid. Oh, look, this fucking weirdo did some stupid shit too.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten around to watching the actual debate yet, but apparently it was a shit show. I don't know. Tom, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched like all of it actually.
Oh my God, please do tell. Do tell.
Yeah. Well, it started off kind of strong. I kind of liked the direction Willie was going, where he was like, I don't know. I think the best kind of argument against these people isn't to make a political argument. It's just to make them look really stupid, because I think that Xander Hall is a really stupid, weird faggot, and I think he really sucks at what he does. And he's trying too hard to be like Destiny and Vosh, who I actually like Destiny a lot. But anyway, kind of moving away from that. The debate itself was very like, I don't know. The biggest problem was they were speaking two different languages, because Xander Hall is a political streamer who's using like political terminology and sees everything through that lens, whereas Willie is just like a commentary YouTuber who likes making fun of people, right? And so the two weren't really on the same wavelength. So every time Xander Hall would try to make an argument, while I disagree with it and I think, you know, it could be combated, Willie doesn't really spend his time thinking about politics or anything like that. And so he doesn't really have the knowledge to kind of like go down that weird rabbit hole that Xander Hall wants him to.
So it's almost like that same shit they do with Nick. What's that dude's name that said America deserved 9/11? Who's that guy?
Hassan Piker.
Yeah, Hassan douchebag. He's like fucking, oh, Nicholas DeOrio. This is what's wrong with these right-wing lunatics. And it's like, where'd that come from? You know?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that was the big issue. But it was also like, I think the point Willie did definitely get Xander Hall on is like, he makes a lot of accusations and assumptions on his stream without ample evidence and is often like proven wrong. And his kind of only explanation for that was like, oh, well, people asked me about it, so I gave my opinion.
Well, Xander Hall flip-flops all the time. I heard one clip of him actually recently. When I had my conversation with Xander Hall on Augie's stream, he was explaining how we should be like, I don't know, we should have some sort of responsibility toward our audience. We should have some sort of like care in terms of like trying to prevent our audience from like having certain thoughts and shit like that, and trying to influence them in a certain positive way or negative way or whatever. Regardless, I heard him say on another stream that a commentary YouTuber isn't required to police their audience. And then
Right.
I hear again that he's taken that stance up, the original stance up again during the Willie Mack stream. So
How do you know?
I think-
How do you know that
I
little
think-
flip wasn't him trying to infiltrate? He needed that clip.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, that's the thing, and I do want to get into that. But I think the biggest issue I have with him, like as a content creator, is he doesn't really feel comfortable saying I don't know. Like he always feels like he has to give his opinion right away if someone asks him. He actually went on stream and he at first I think he called me like he was like Turkey Tom is a normal typical conservative. And then he kind of moved a little bit in the other direction. He's like, I have received word that Turkey Tom is probably a Nazi. I don't know, but I feel that he is this way. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like I just really take issue with the way he like.
I think what we
uses his
consider
audience
to be
that
the
way.
right, he considers to be the alt-right. What we consider to be the middle is what he considers to be leaning right. What we consider to be the left, he considers to be centrist. And then what we consider the far left is what he just calls the left.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
feels like he was talking about
you're
it.
probably
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're probably right. But as far as his infiltration, which I think Bo Blacks did kind of hit on this a little bit. You'll see
Shout out to Bo
he
Blacks.
comes very.
Go ahead, sorry.
Shout out to Bo Blacks for sure. He did a great he had a great observation of this on stream right at the beginning before they were debating, where he was talking about how Xander Hall on stream is very confrontational. In his tweets, he's very like angry. He's very like, fuck this guy, fuck this retard, he's so dumb. And he gets on stream and he's like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? And it's very and it's very like it's very weird.
Well, I
but
said
the
that
reason
to
he
his
does
face. I
that-
asked him if the debate was a fucking interview. Like, he was talking all this shit about, Bo Blacks, give me a second, buddy. I'm coming for you next. And he gets on there, he's like, so I just wanted to talk a little bit today about, like, some of these different aspects. Like, no,
Yeah,
fuck
and
you.
he does that. He does that because he's trying to come across as reasonable to your audience. He wants your audience to come away from the debate
it's
thinking,
so
I
funny.
may not agree with that Xander Hall
I
guy,
see.
but I may not agree with that Xander Hall guy, but he made some good points, and I think I respect him, and he wants to get people to kind of like sympathize with him, and then eventually become a fan of him.
That's a bitch move, though.
I mean, it is a bitch move, but it's exactly
That is the plan, is what you're saying. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
mean-
Bo Blacks touched on, where this guy kind of like finesses you into a conversation, so your audience is watching, so he can kind of pluck some of those his way.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Bo Blacks made the accusation of that, but
Well, no, you said he made an
kind of
observation. What was it?
Yeah. I would say he made the grounds for my kind of interpretation, which is
gotcha.
that he was saying like, it's really weird how Xander Hall on a stream he's so aggressive, and then all of a sudden he gets on stream
Yeah, okay.
and he's so nice to me. He's having a jovial conversation. He's not calling me reactionary anymore. He's calling me left leaning. He's like, what's going on with this? And I'd say that's probably kind of what that's all part of the plan.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you why his plan's not going to work. And I know a lot of people
I'd
were
say
talking
failed
about
already,
this
yeah.
recently. Most people think the point of failure is that now all the commentators know and they're not going to associate with him. And that's the first one. And I've seen him say stuff like, well, if you just made a video about me telling me that, then some of your audience has already seen my stuff. They're going to come to my channel, and the people who agree with me are going to stay. So I've pretty much already succeeded in that regard. And I would agree. If you make a video on this guy talking about this subject, then you're probably going to send some people over his way. But what I really want to talk about here is the way to do this is really simple. You got to take your ideas, you got to take your thought, anything you want to convey, right? And you got to make it cool. It's the same way you try to build a narrative with drama. It's the same way you're like, well, this guy is very popular. I don't like him for these reasons, but I want to convey it. If you make a video on Dream right now and try to go after him the conventional way, you're going to get mobbed
luck.
by
Yeah,
hundreds
good
of
luck.
people. But if you can try to take your thought process, make it easy to digest, and make it understandable, there's a way to do this, right? So right now, historically, this community's been very right-leaning, right? I guess from historically, if we're talking about the anti-SJW stuff. I don't think that's the same way it is anymore, but commentary YouTubers made a lot of anti-SJW videos in 2016, and I don't think they're right-leaning. I just think anti-SJW was popular, and that was right-leaning content. Do you agree?
Or I would say
I'd say
maybe
so.
those types of motherfuckers are just insufferable, and it's not like everybody's.
No.
going after
I
things.
agree with you. I don't think Ethan Klein made those videos because he was right-leaning or because he wanted to make right-leaning content.
Gotcha.
I think people saw it as common sense and they made anti-SJW videos.
Which I love.
just think
But
nowadays
it did
you would
happen to
consider
fall
those
into a more
right-leaning.
right.
What?
Yeah, it did happen to fall into a more right-wing point.
Yeah,
Because
but-
everything's
Right,
politics
people like-
right now.
And that's where you look
It
at
is,
guys
it
like
is.
Bionic Pig. You look at guys like Elvis the Alien. You look at guys like Ethan Klein. None of these dudes are right-leaning guys at all, like without any fucking fragment of any right-leaning in their little bodies. Okay, that doesn't. So
Right.
that's what leads me to believe these people can make this content that he would deem to be right-leaning and then not actually be right-leaning. But that's not the point I'm trying to get to. The point I'm trying to get to is anti-SJW stuff was a type of content that people found funny. They found it interesting, which is why it was going so viral. It was cool. It was cool to take out the little purple-haired feminists and stuff like that. It was cool to go after people who were freaking out on BuzzFeed about shit that didn't matter. And that's why people backed it. So when you bring in if you want to like bring them to the left, if you want to bring them further left, you have to come off understandable. The way he tries to act when he's debating people. You have to come off like you know what you're talking about, but it's like you're in a position where people want to hear you continue talking. When you're making these videos about YouTube drama, that's what I assume that's what he was going to do. He was going to weigh in his thoughts on it. He probably wouldn't have come off as political in those videos specifically, and he probably would have hoped that more people tune into his regular streams after the fact. But the way that it goes is like when he does it the way that he's doing it, and then he says shit on stream like JonTron loves slavery and like wants slavery to come back.
Whoa!
You immediately lose everybody. Like
What
you
did
hear what
say?
Vega just did? That's every fan that potentially was going to start watching his videos. That's every
That didn't
fan
happen,
who was
though,
like,
yeah?
all right, what this guy's saying isn't so bad yet. But then when you hit him with like JonTron loves slavery.
Shut the fuck up. He said that for real?
Yeah, he did.
Like it's dude,
I mean,
you lose
but what you have to-
everybody.
what you have to
can't
keep in mind-
you can't try to make it cool and then just walk it back with JonTron loves
What?
slavery. You
Okay.
lose. That's your point
Nick,
of failure.
Nick, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
wow.
saying. And I'm certainly not on his side, either politically or in terms of kind of like, his plan here. But I think he's going to be more successful than you think. to be
I
honest.
know. I think this guy's going to
think-
be successful. Don't get me wrong. This guy's on his way to 100K right now. He's probably going to probably settle near 200, 150. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
talking
god,
about.
who is in that audience? Go ahead.
Look, dude. Again, like I'm just trying to tell you. He says that all these left-leaning guys don't have any interest in the community or haven't come over yet and stuff like that. A lot of left-leaning people have. It's just when you hear Vosh and you hear like some of these more left-leaning creators, they don't sound rational. They're trying to like.
I mean, you say that.
They
but
make a
you
hot
still
take
have
on
big
one more thing.
personalities.
They make a hot take on like the pedophile shit, right? That's what Vosh made, the clip we heard recently. And if you heard the whole audio, he's trying to compare child pornography to what was it, like slave labor from like countries and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Bro.
And like buying Nike products. And when people are like pushing back on that, because that's a fucking crazy like jump, right? That's like a base take that's coming out of nowhere. The fucking audience starts responding and he goes, okay, no, shut the fuck up. You're going to give your little dumb shit takes. Okay, this is exactly why you're wrong. And then he just gets like more aggressive and then he starts knocking people out of chat. You can't do that.
I mean, watching that clip from Vosh, though, I've seen that clip for months, and every time I see it, I'm just like, no one prompted you to give that. You didn't have to say that in that way
I
at all.
don't think
Like,
that
I
was
don't-
the same.
I-
There was
I've
multiple
watched-
clips, dude. He's made this argument like 6 or 7 times.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, he's always going on about optics, but from like an optics perspective, what worse move could you make than constantly allowing right wingers, centrists, and left wingers alike to shit on you for seemingly defending pedophilia? Like, why even bring up that fucking argument?
Attention.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around
This
it.
is strange, man. What happened to? I don't know, man. I know a shit ton of people in all kinds of communities now, and it wasn't like so. I don't think there was any crazy strategy there. It was just, what is it? I think I got introduced to Mudahar through you, Nick. It was like, hey, is this guy cool or is he kind of a shithead? I was
Yeah.
like, no, he's
Well-
cool.
well, you
I was
gotta
like, all
keep in
right, I'll
mind-
follow him on Twitter. He follows me back. Somehow we wound up in an Among Us game. That wasn't planned. We chilled. We talked later. We're cool.
Yeah.
What happened to that kind of shit? Why did everything have to be some crazy ass master plan on a schematic on the wall? And this guy's saying it openly on Twitch, and then it turns into political shit. The fuck?
Well, obviously that is how we kind of that's how we kind of think. But for these guys, it's not just messing around online or just making videos about whatever. For them, it is kind of like
The
like
agenda.
I mean, it's like a win and lose situation. They want to win. They want their side to win, and so they kind of treat it a little bit like a chess game in that way.
So you feel he's dragging everybody into this mess, or he's just kind of already failed and everybody just kind of like
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say he's failed. I'd say I don't really like Xander Hall, but I mean it doesn't take a super smart individual to see that he's probably gonna succeed at what he's doing. Even if I think what he's doing is kind of cringy.
To garner an audience, yeah, but his whole goal about having peers in the community and duping people and all that shit. You think that's going anywhere? I think that jigs up, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. No, I think it's probably going to go somewhere. I mean, if you look at,
I guess if he's got a benefit to some other people, they kind of think the same way, probably.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you look at other streamers, kind of in his community, who are bigger than him, who are more successful than him right now, a lot of them have managed to attract kind of that old guard of sort of anti-SJW YouTuber. People like The Amazing Atheist, Shoe Head have both expressed sympathies for leftist causes now, and have kind of been like, going on their streams and whatnot. So. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I heard Shoe Head is like did a whole 180 or something like that, dude.
Yeah, she kind of went completely the other way. So say what you will about that. I don't really want to kind of.
I go on the same fucking. I don't want to get into every
what
time. I'm just telling you right now. There were a lot of people who made some right-leaning content, and then it became profitable to make a lot of left-leaning content. And then people started getting deplatformed when they're making a lot of right-leaning content. And I'm telling you right now, during this presidency, I'm expecting within 3 or so years a little bit more right-leaning content to be the norm. And for the most part, a lot of these political YouTubers seem to be rocking back and forth. I don't think these people have real thoughts. I think the majority of them are just sitting here with liquid opinions. There's no fucking way guys like Ian Miles Chung could have been like doxing people during fucking Gamergate on the SJW side, and then now here they are being called alt-righters. It's mind-boggling. I don't think. I think when you see a lot of these people, their opinions flow like water. Whatever you put them in, they take shape to that size, and I think we're going to continue to see that.
That's a win, Nick.
That's a win.
That's what we call a win right there.
Shout out Robert Kraft. Fell in love with the cheddar. And that's the message of today's show.
Oh, God. Didn't fucking Xander Hall say that copyright was political just because it's a law?
I mean, I don't disagree with him.
Shut up. Like, the political aspects of copyright.
Yeah, I mean, it is politics. Politics isn't just like as simple as left and right.
Oh, come on. Yeah, obviously, but when we say that, like, when he's talking about bringing his, like, leftist ideas to the community, what is his leftist idea on copyright that he's going to influence us with?
I mean, it'd probably be to, like, get rid of copyright as we know it, make it less, like, government focused, take it out of the hands of
Wow, dude, he's going to be... Dude, that would be crazy, dude, if he came in and convinced everybody things that most people already think.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just... I wouldn't say he's trying to convince anyone of a particular issue on that one, but I would say I more or less agree with
I mean, for the most part, the people who talk about copyright are so stupid they think YouTube is the reason why it's bad.
Yeah.
They just recently found out with Twitch that it
But I mean, look
worse.
at it this way, Nick. Look at it this way. You already don't like Xander Hall, but let's say you're someone who's new to his channel. You see his take on copyright, which is something you agree with. He pulls you in with that, and then he kind of
that's what I was
some
gonna
other
say.
Ideas. That's part of the game.
That's an open door. Like, look how many fucking YouTubers that may have done insane, crazy shit. What was that one dude that got caught up with a youngster and he's still popping,
Minilad confirmed he was talking to minors and he's still chilling.
I don't think that was him.
It's definitely Minilad.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's an example. Right? And they're still popping is because other people show up. They have no idea what he did. They have no idea what's going on Twitter. They don't have a Twitter.
Red Kiwis, too.
Oh,
Red Kiwis is a big Fortnite YouTuber now after he got exposed for DMing.
Yeah, so you see, like, they'll always shift. There's always going to be, and then people will work with them because they got a massive audience and all that shit. So that dude is going to be the same thing. This will go away. Commentary will remember, but nobody else will.
Well, I think that's in large in part because the fan base is so dumb. Again, sorry guys listening. When you watch situations like James Charles and you see like millions of subscribers, again, like liquid flowing back and forth from exposed video to exposed video, you see KSI and Deji, millions of subscribers flowing back and forth from video to video. They really do need to be told what to think, and that's because large in part, a lot of these people who are watching are young. A lot of these are kids. You're talking about kids who can't necessarily vote yet. That's why when
You are
when Xanderhall said that
We are your
Optimus's audience
shepherds!
could have turned some swing states, I just laughed and said they're probably not old enough to get to the ballot. But I mean, it's just like, yeah, these people aren't the brightest. So I think for some regard, some of these kids like look to us and they hear what we say, and then they basically base their entire opinions around that. So I kind of understand the want to gain access to some of these people. I mean, instead of listening to Jake Paul burn down his fucking house and like target his neighbors and shit like that, they could be listening to Xander Hall's ideal way of life and political party ideologies. So
we've already seen a couple of youngsters in the community that are creators that kind of like are just upset, or even friends of creators that are kind of prominent as far as like people that know them, that they're just fucking deep into politics. Their Twitter timelines are politics. You're just like, what the fuck?
Aiden.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's talking about Aiden, but like Xanderhall said, you know, he's trying to kind of mix commentary, drama, content with politics.
God, every time you say this, because this is like the third time in the podcast you've said this, I think of another stupid example where they were talking to Boblax in the previous like debate with Boblax about what was it? Fuck. They said, okay, recently Ethan Klein versus James Charles. How was that political? And Xander Hall turned around and said, well, James Charles is gay.
Yeah, he basically he basically tried to paint it as if like the narrative was largely homophobic from Ethan Klein's audience.
Then it's why would anyone dislike Pokimane? Pokimane is such a great creator who's like almost not controversial at all. And then he's just like, it's because she's a woman. That's why it's political.
Yeah, it was especially angering that I don't know. I feel like he didn't really understand like the crux of the Pokimane drama, and every time this is one that Willie definitely got him on. Every time he asked him like, you know, Xander Hall would be like, well, the drama was completely overblown. It's ridiculous that people would be mad at Pokey about it. And then Willie was like, okay, well, there was nothing else going on at the time. Pokey was a huge creator abusing the copyright system, and people were angry about it. And so everyone talked about it. And Xander Hall was like, well, I'm sure other people were doing it at the time. And Willie kept saying, well, you know, she's one of the biggest creators. She's one of the biggest people on Twitch. I think she's like 5 or 6, right? She's huge. It makes sense that people would be angry at her about it. And then he would go on to say, oh, well, I'm sure there were other people doing it, but he couldn't list any specific examples. And I guess, you know, kind of my biggest issue with it is like these assumptions he makes without really knowing.
It's not like
anything.
Pokimane wasn't controversial on this exact subject for like 6 months prior to when it popped, though. It's not like there was building animosity in the community that was just going on, like untapped for an extended period of time that reached a boiling point.
Yeah, it wasn't out of nowhere. And it definitely, I really don't think it was a woman thing, to be honest, at all. I mean, there are those people in the audience for sure. And probably when Leafy got involved, he drew a little bit more of that. But I'd say the majority of the criticism against her was pretty valid.
Vega, you want to take a look at some of the questions we have in the Discord?
We got a question from Miss Perfect Paradox, one of the Patreons that is on our Discord server of all places. And she says, what are your thoughts on the Twitch DMCA crackdown? Should streamers have been better prepared? Now, I don't know about y'all, but this DMCA guy is pissing everybody off.
Dude, these DMC takedowns, as Keemstar calls them. The DMC takedowns. Every drama alert, he just does not know the word. He's like, the DMC, guys. I don't agree with the DMC. Like, Run DMC is fucking just destroying this community.
I don't actually like know much about the DMCA thing. The basic gist of it that I understand is that a lot of streamers have been using copyrighted content for a while, and finally copyright holders have decided to go in and claim that content, right? Is that?
I actually have an email from Twitch, and it's really embarrassing.
Oh, I want to read. Can you read that?
Yeah, I actually could right now. You ready?
I would love for you to read that.
Okay, let's see. I got an email from Twitch on Wednesday. It's called Music-Related Copyright Claims and Twitch. And they kind of say what everyone was expecting them to say for like an extended period of time. Let me get to the one part. Okay, here we go. How did we get here? Until May of this year, streamers received fewer than 50 music-related DMCA notifications every year on Twitch. However, beginning in May, representatives from the major labels started sending thousands of DMCAs each week that targeted creators' archives, mostly for snippets of tracks in year-old clips. We continued to receive large batches of notifications, and we don't expect that to slow down. This means this means two things. If you play recorded music on your stream, you need to stop doing that. And two, if you haven't already, you should review your historical VODs and clips that might have music in them and delete them. It's just like, look at this. We were surprised by the sudden avalanche of notifications, as many of you were. We also realized that we needed to provide streamers with more educational programs and content management tools to help you deal with this unprecedented number of notifications coming all at once. Dude.
Unprecedented would be...
So I think that answers your question, Vega. I don't know if... Well, I think it actually answers Paradox's question. Should streamers have been better prepared? Yes.
Yeah,
but should the platform have been better prepared? Yes.
Yes.
Holy fuck,
They're already tracking.
I'm reading this fucking message. It's blowing my mind. Wait, so you didn't get any DMCAs for years, and you just thought... Well, they're never gonna hit us. Like, when has that ever worked in the history of anything? This is an Amazon-owned company. What the fuck?
Well, you could check that shit off. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I would probably tell my lawyer to sit the fuck down and just call him on that shit. Be like, hey, listen, if you didn't know about this, then why do you have a feature that mutes any copyrighted content?
Dude, I'm sorry.
How do you not know about this if that's a feature that automatically does it?
There's so many people out there who are so stupid who think YouTube is the reason why copyright is so bad. Meanwhile, YouTube has been doing this copyright thing for years. All the Twitch streamers have been giggling or whatever as all the YouTubers have been losing fucking revenue. And then all of a sudden, an avalanche of claims come their way, and they don't have a fucking system to remove this shit. They don't have tools at their disposal to fix this because Twitch just didn't prepare for it. Holy shit.
I actually even saw a notification on my phone from, it was like Yahoo News or some shit. I swiped in the wrong direction, in the direction I don't ever swipe. And then fucking, it had Nick Merckx right there, big ass fucking surprise face. And it said, Nick Merckx forced to delete his entire archive over DMCA notices. So he just cleared his whole library, apparently.
They had to make a fucking frequently asked questions thing because the people who are on this site are so fucking stupid. They literally think DMCA is an organization like a person.
Warner Brothers is
DMCA, stop taking down my videos.
They live in their fucking little castle up there, dude. They're just collecting all of our revenue. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Listen, Nick, it's hard to keep up with what the fuck's going on in the real world when you're making 200 hours worth of content a day or whatever the fuck Homeboy says. Oh my god, you take 2 months to make a video? I'm on here 200 hours a day, bro. Cry me a fucking river.
In some regard, I'm like, all right, this sucks because I do think there should be some sort of like updated, like a modified law or something like that. Or when in a perfect world, certain things would go to court and we'd have like better understandings of fair use that could potentially like help these people in these situations. You know, certain court rulings could possibly benefit people. But the other side of this thing, it's just like, it's really funny that the guys who post entire VODs, like, just sit there watching our content on YouTube from their Twitch streams, just watching our entire videos for content while they eat their lunch, are starting to get claims by major companies. I'm kind of like, well, that sucks, but also lol.
That is the real world, though, coming to the doorstep of streamers that think that the world works in a certain way. It doesn't. Somebody creates something, like a track, some music shit, right? And it's popping, it's trending, and you're bumping that shit on your stream, and you're eating your food, or you're playing your video game, they're coming after you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, dude, I didn't make that for your fucking stream, bro. I made that to make money. You know, that's just,
you know what's crazy, Vega, is they don't do this on YouTube, and people are wondering why. That's because YouTube lets you claim revenue. There's no fucking feature like that on Twitch.
Yeah.
They can't even claim revenue.
Well, they're going to have to keep the fuck up.
I sympathize with these streamers a lot, you know. I think it's unlikely that their use of that content is going to do any like financial harm to these music companies. I think the companies are being, you know, I don't agree with copyright law in that way. But it is kind of like a, what did you think
the companies see it from
that is how it is.
Well, they have to pay us like millions of dollars to use our music in a movie trailer. Why do these Twitch streamers just get to play 50 songs from our label mates for free?
Exactly.
Those are
because that's how the law is.
Yeah, but that's all old world.
And I think it'll be
contracts.
updated.
You know what I'm saying?
But...
Like, I make this, you pay for this, you get to use this. That is pretty much what it is, right? That's everything. If I'm making content, I need to get paid for that content, is what the old school is, right? Now, sometimes you just have to make free shit in order to get anywhere. You know what I mean?
What
That's
the labels should
it's
do
things are starting to
is
develop
make
online.
subscription packages. Like, you know how you can go and buy Epidemic Sound right now and get a bunch of music?
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to mention that we've been doing that for, I think, I've been doing it for like a solid year and a half, I think. I've been licensing my own music.
So it's like, what do you think the label should do is be like, okay, you pay a monthly premium.
Why can't there be a business account
they would
for
make
Spotify?
A killing. They would make a killing if
A
they
business
charged
account for
agree.
Spotify that lets you on
idea.
your one channel, or you can purchase more for a little bit of a raised fee. You can use an entire archive of music of like songs that people want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pay like, I don't know, $20 a month.
Well, you never know. This
they'd
could
make
be
killing off of that if somebody...
a situation where this might seem like some crazy surprise, or the music industry just noticed, or whoever, right, just noticed. It could be a situation like Disney, right? Wasn't Disney set up kind of like they kind of behind the scenes started building their own kind of streaming services and all this, made sure everything was nice, refined, and then they notified everybody, Netflix, Amazon, everybody and their fucking mother, hey, we're gonna remove our IPs that we own from all of your sites, and it's going to be exclusive on Disney Plus because we need motherfuckers to sign up.
Here's the deal.
So what they could be doing right now is they could be just telling everybody, hey, your shit, if it's on there, remove it, or we're charging, or we're so whatever. Because we are going to open up a subscription service, so that way when you pay for it, then you can use our shit, but not before.
I say
it
no.
Could be what's
and
going
I'll
on
tell
right
you
now.
Right. The music companies have shown time and time again that they don't want to take your videos down. And if you need evidence of that, just look to YouTube. When they can claim, they 9 times out of 10 will. I've seen like 3 strikes in my entire history of the platform where it comes from like UMG or something like that to specifically take down a video with music. They'll block, like YouTube has a feature, block it worldwide, and it won't apply a strike to the creator's account. They literally use that more than they file off DMCA strikes.
Yeah, they do.
The reason why we're seeing this is just because you can't claim, you can't block a VOD worldwide. It's really, as much as I like to joke or whatever that the creators have no idea what DMCA is, it's on the platform, man. The platform needs these features at bare minimum. I don't think they would be striking anybody right now if they could just block VODs worldwide and allow the creator to download them and, do whatever they want, considering that's their history, quote unquote, or if they could just fucking claim the revenue in certain...
Yeah, so there's no features to exhaust them actually profiting off of.
Yeah,
There's just
YouTube
nothing.
gives a smorgasbord of options that people bitch and whine about constantly. But that smorgasbord of options exists so they don't fucking strike your channel down. I play copyrighted music
true.
every live stream I do on Nick DeOrio too, because my live streams are one and done. I play it, I do my thing, and then I delete my stream. And nothing ever happens. Theoretically, I could get struck, but the odds of that are happening are so fucking minimum that honestly, I'm willing to accept that potential reality. And the other thing is, and that you don't even consider, is that when Twitch removes your VODs, they're still like accessible on their side, and for some reason these media companies can still see them. So for some people who are actually deleting their VODs, they're still getting struck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that doesn't exist for YouTube. When you delete your shit, you're good.
Oh.
It's really fucked on Twitch's side.
That's curious. What the That's actually weird.
It's fucked on Twitch's side, dude.
So Twitch is sending out that email. Well, when did you get that email?
Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
So that
wow.
for people listening, that is a 2-day-old email. They're molding right now. They're trying to fix the situation. I think guys like some of these streamers have been banned 3 or 4 times and unbanned for it. And even then, if like the music industry really wanted to be dicks, I'm pretty sure they could push to fuck these guys. Like, because I'm pretty sure you have to remove I think it's safe harbor. Again, I'm not a huge legal expert, but I'm thinking one of those laws says like if the inflicting party is doing this, they should be like terminated from the service. I mean, I might be wrong on that one.
They could turn your anal cavity into a fucking cavern, bro, if they wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way.
I don't know.
And should streamers have been better prepared? I would say yes to that. That's for perfect paradox. I would say yes to that, but really, Nick's got the point where it's Twitch already knew. This is almost. Would you say this is kind of comparable to the COPPA situation with YouTube? They were tracking.
Yeah. YouTube.
They were just trying to fly under the radar,
FCC
and Twitch was just moving under the radar too, and they finally got caught up.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think the specific YouTube COPPA thing, they knew exactly what they were doing, and then it just took the FCC to come in before they got fucked.
And they were actually giving them the benefit of the doubt, which was a surprise to me.
Yep.
With the COPPA shit, COPPA was just like, okay, that's fine. Listen, it's all good, not a problem. And then they wound up, ratting themselves out at a convention, and that's how they got fucked. So Twitch over here, the reason why I'm saying the comparison is not only just because there's similar situations with that kind of shit, but the fact that they're sending out an email almost kind of pointing the finger away from the platform and being like, oh, this is unprecedented. We didn't see this coming. They definitely probably did.
So yeah, final thoughts on this? Anybody got anything else?
No, that wraps it up pretty well. That's it.
I was wondering if we can go into our a little last extra topic. The YouTube Rewind of 2020 is not coming out this year.
Right.
That's crazy, right?
Are we speculating on why?
I'd say
YouTube put out a statement saying that this hasn't been a great
I saw the
year.
statement. Yeah. You want to read the statement for anybody that's not on Twitter religiously?
I don't have it open.
they did give their explanation, but I guess we'll let Nick read it first before I give my interpretation. But yeah,
we should get Boblex to read these things and just insert them into the podcast.
We should, yeah.
For no
He's
reason.
probably done a video about it.
I actually saw one of his latest videos where he was. I was dying laughing. I was trying to catch up on something. I don't even remember what it was, but he's just going like reading every single thing that goes like ha 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 ha. He would actually make the noises, but reading them, not a lot of personality behind him. But I thought it was funnier if he would have done.
You ready?
Go
Since
for it.
2010, we've ended the year with Rewind, a look back at the year's most impactful creators, videos, and trends. Whether you love it or only remember 2018's Rewind, it's always meant to be a celebration of you. But 2020 has been different, and it doesn't feel right to carry this as if it weren't. So we're taking a break from Rewind this year. We know that so much of the good that did happen in 2020 was created by all of you. You found ways to lift people up, help them cope, and make them laugh. You've made a hard year genuinely better. Thank you for making a difference, YouTube. And then I believe Lele Pons put a message out in response saying, you guys supported us in so many ways. We all understand. And YouTube responded to her by saying, thank you, Lele. You have shown such strength in sharing your journey. Thank you for being a bright light of 2020. So aside from Nerd City probably being right and her actually getting some sort of special treatment from YouTube, what do you guys think about the YouTube Rewind?
Big smack on the pee-pee, Nick. Don't.
Yeah, I would say that I don't know. I don't really like YouTube Rewind anyway. I think it makes sense that they wouldn't do it this year, especially because last year they just had a Watch Mojo style thing. Yeah, which is probably honestly what YouTube Rewind should have been from the start.
Oh, they fucked it up. You can't go back.
Yeah, I guess, but
you fucked it up. When you actually make an event with the creators and it's an actual event yearly, you can't go to some fucking compilation video. Or some fucking top 10 countdown.
Right, I guess you're right, but I don't mind the sort of change that they decided to make. I do think, however, that, it just makes sense they wouldn't do it this year, considering they can't, it's either they do a compilation that everyone's going to hate anyway, or they just fly a bunch of people out, right, which they can't do right now due to COVID. So, I don't know. What is there to be upset about, really?
That's a good point.
What is there to be upset about at all?
Wait, I'm reading the fucking replies to this shit, dude. Could you imagine? All right, you guys know who Styx Hexenhammer is, right?
Unfortunately.
Styx?
I don't.
Yeah, Styx is one of the right-wing guys on the political spectrum.
Oh my god.
He responded to this tweet going, use BitChute and Odyssey. Enough of this crap. All right, okay, I get that comment. I see that comment all over the place when people are unfairly banned or something. But could you imagine somebody's just like, no Rewind this year? No Rewind this year? No Rewind this year? Slams the door. I'm done! I'm done with this shit! I'm leaving! I'm never coming back! BitChute forever!
I wonder what the BitChute Rewind is like.
The BitChute
so
rewind
bad.
is just Alabama N-word just being played on loop.
It's just a reminder email. They haven't been removed from the internet.
It's just
That's
yeah,
all-
it's just
that's all
that
the
it's
rewind
a
is.
song.
We're still
It's a
here, guys.
reminder.
You can
It's a
upload.
reminder email that the reason why they don't pop up in search is because bitch is the first 5 letters of their name.
It's just that clip of Alex Jones going, "Are you trying to have sex with me?" Followed by,
It's
"I
a
don't like
reminder that maybe in the year
N-words. I don't like
2022 they'll get
N-words."
720p.
Oh hell yeah!
Dude,
Hey guys, just a quick reminder too. This podcast is exclusively on StoryFire, the up and coming
yeah, dude, a social media
platform.
site that's newer than BitChute that literally has 1080p. Okay, I'm just saying, dude. I'm sorry. I made a BitChute like everybody told me to, my guy. And dude, I'm like, all right, I can archive all my videos here. Dude, one of my videos went down and I had a 360p fucking re-upload from BitChute. And that was the only copy of my
shut the fuck
hour-long
up.
video that I made. I was fucking seizing, dude.
Yeah, I
thank
mean,
God
not only
Bo Blacks
that,
had it. I
though.
would never use that site again.
Dude, not only is that the case, but StoryFire's been around for what, like 3 months, right?
No,
BitChute-
it's a bit older than that. It's been actually about a year before we found
It's
it.
been around
that
for like
old?
a
Yeah.
year, 2
Wait,
years.
has it been around that long? Okay. BitChute has been around how long? I remember it being like 5 or 6 years old, and they still somehow can't get it together. Additionally, the nice thing about StoryFire is it's not just a hellhole for political refugees. It has like normal people that
Yeah, there are platforms when they're like, "Hey, freedom of speech for all," and all you do is like you comment, and somebody's just like, "Hey, fuck you, spick." or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Dude,
you know what
I mean, that's a
Crazy.
nice-
Fucking
it's a
Tipster
nice
was
idea,
like,
but
"Hey
I just
guys,
wanna
I'm
make
coming back
commentary
on
videos.
Gab now."
Yeah.
And then someone just goes, "Okay, N-word, hard R." Like that was the first response he got from a random he'd never seen before. I think Augie said the first time he went on Gab, Holocaust denial was trending.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
Gab. Gab's the
Gab,
one.
dude. Oh god, like I hear Parler is like a conservative Twitter. If Parler is conservative Twitter, Gab is like the alt-right Twitter. Absolutely.
I mean, it's not just alt-right, it's like even I guess it's hard not to call the alt-right like extreme, but they're just like avowed, like, they got like the whole skull mask thing going on, the like Adam Waffen type people. They're all on that website.
I feel like all the normal right-wing conservatives and stuff like that just went to Parler though, and just everybody else. Like, dude, the guy who owns Gab is fucking crazy. Do you remember his drama
Yes, I do.
when he started like
No.
molding on Twitter? Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious.
Okay. So, recently, Pyrocynical responded to the allegations against him, and I just
that's
wanted to take a
correct.
bit to go over the response to him. His kind of response, the response to him from the community and Ivory Rasmus, and my kind of interpretation of that. So,
Hold on, just give me
in
2
a
seconds
nutshell,
here. Can you just redo this in a second? I gotta just run one
yeah,
second.
sure.
What did he say?
He's going to beat his dog.
Is he- okay. I hate that we get. You know what sucks, Tom?
But
I hate that we get into a. Do you feel this way? I feel like we're almost a little robotic in the first half, and then we somehow get into a fucking crazy flow, and a
right,
good groove,
absolutely.
right at the latter half of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is it? Where is the point that we start to actually have fun with it?
To be
'Cause is it that we're explaining or detailing too many things? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
there,
I'm
you know?
not sure. Yeah, honestly, I had this idea, but it might be best for us to just record like an hour and a half of conversation, cut the best parts, and then record the intro afterwards, and then we can just kind of. I think that would be like a really good formula because we can just get rid of all the fluff at the beginning, right? When it's not flowing that well, and then we'll just have the really good meat of the conversation that I can kind of cut out. 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, slap it together.
Yeah.
Behind an intro we record at the end, and that's like an hour podcast. But I definitely agree. Like the beginning is always the weakest, and then towards the end we kind of get the best, and then cut it off. But I wouldn't want to go over like 1 hour in general, just in the interest of not like wasting time or stretching it out too much.
Yeah, as far as the actual final product, right?
Right.
But you're saying if we do an hour and a half, we can get rid of a lot of this shit.
Right.
The only thing that sucks is that hour or the first half an hour. That is like the discussion, and then we somehow just start having fun with it. Like
Yeah.
it's just like what the.
I guess it's
Maybe we're
kind
discussing
of
the serious shit first
All right, I'm back,
or something.
sorry.
I don't know.
Hey, yeah. I guess it does kind of feel like we're doing like a show at the beginning, and then as we get later, it feels more like a casual conversation, you know. But
You feeling that too, Nick?
Yeah.
I was telling Tom right now that it feels like we're robotic in the first half an hour, and then we just hit this groove and we just start vibing, and then all of a sudden we just cut off the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree.
It's weird.
Well, if you want to get more of that, we should probably start recording earlier and then like halfway through just restart.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Maybe next week we'll do that.
Okay, sure.
All right.
All
right.
If you wake up,
So,
you fat
back
fuck.
on
Anyway.
Turkey Talk.
All right. So, sorry. So, recently, Pyrocynical, a big commentary YouTuber with over 4 million subscribers, somewhat of a legend in the commentary community, responded to some allegations against him after weeks of people speculating, making comments on it. The initial allegations were discussed on this podcast from Ivory Rasmus, who accused him of grooming, with some screenshots to kind of give their side of things. Pyrocynical responded recently on Reddit, and he, I just want to take a second to kind of discuss what he had to say. He opened up his post by saying, "Hey gamers, just wanted to give you all an explanation of what's been going on," and a lot of people in the community have said that this is a really strong response. When I tweeted it out with a very kind of like newsworthy tweet, I was like, "This is what Pyro said. This is what he asserted." I never made any real claims about what was true or not. A lot of people kind of instantly assumed that the situation had instantly flipped, and this was sort of a Slazo type scenario where, Che or Ivory make the accusations about Slazo or Pyro, and then a lot of people believe them, and then the accusations get flipped instantly the other way. I, however, completely disagree with this interpretation of events, and I want to kind of explain why. Firstly, I should say that I don't think that Pyrocynical is a groomer or a pedophile. I also don't think that Ivory Rasmus has made all of the right moves here. That being said, I don't think that they're a liar. I think that maybe they made some mistakes, but I do think that all of the messages they leaked are real, which I believe pretty much, as soon as I saw ample evidence to say it's Pyro, I was like, okay, these are probably real. And also, I think that Pyrocynical is lying in his Reddit response, which I want to go over here.
Tom, just before you get to that, I just want to remind you that Che put in jokes in her Twitlonger, like, it's rape time, like, obvious fucking jokes, and, like, made those out to be, like, the big, terrible parts, where Ivory didn't do that. Like, I could sit here and disagree the fact that he was groomed based on the information that he's provided, but that doesn't change the fact that potentially he believes he was, and I'm not gonna just pretend that's not, like, the case.
What we have here is
this... Do you think that when Pyro said, "I want to open your asshole up and shit in it," what did he say? He said something like that?
Yes.
Was that like do you think that was serious?
I think that was serious, yeah. I think he's a freak.
Oh, wow.
He in his Reddit post, he admitted as much. He said the conversations were real. He said all the screenshots were real. And my biggest problem is that people are taking what Pyrocynical says instantly at face value without any evidence. And despite the mountain of evidence on Ivory's side, they are completely discounting what they have to say. And they're also, ironically, accusing Ivory of constantly clout chasing when they have gotten nothing but shat on for spreading this, right, and blamed, whereas Pyrocynical has been completely praised. Like, there's no clout chasing in here. Meanwhile, the people shitting on them are cited in Pyrocynical's Reddit post, and they're making videos that get hundreds of thousands of views where they say Ivory's a clout chaser, Ivory's a liar, one of which was by a YouTuber named Prison Mate Luke, who made easily one of the worst and most irresponsible commentary videos I've ever seen in my fucking life. Terrible video. But anyway, in the Reddit response, Pyrocynical says that he didn't know what Ivory's age was, and that Ivory lied about his age. Right. His only proof justification for this is that there are a few people on Twitter claiming that Ivory lied about his age. He doesn't have any DMs of Ivory contradicting himself, and he also claims to have been suspended on Twitter around the time that Ivory said he had his age in his bio. Right. There are a few things going against this. Firstly, if you look up Ivory's name and the age 15 or 16, right, there's just the numbers on Twitter, you'll find plenty of replies where they say their age from around this time. It's clear that maybe they lied in one situation at one time, but there's a mountain of them saying what their age was. Not only this, but one of the things Pyro failed to acknowledge in his response was his girlfriend. His girlfriend, Deflumify, on Twitter, messaged Ivory the day that the accusations came out, which Ivory later leaked. basically confirming everything Ivory had to say in the Twitlonger, but disagreeing with the assertion of grooming, right? Which, frankly, I agree with what she's saying. The problem here is that Pyrocynical not only didn't acknowledge what his girlfriend said, but she basically incriminated him by admitting that Pyro knew the age of Ivory, right? Like, she never said that Pyro didn't know the age. In fact, I think at one point she actually confirmed. She was like, the age gap wasn't great, but it is what it is.
But again, that is through, hindsight. Am I wrong?
What do you mean?
Like when she said that, the age gap and stuff like that in the messages that were sent to Ivory, I believe, the day after the Twitlonger was posted, the age gap thing was now known in 2020. Can we confirm she knew in 2016?
I guess we can't confirm, but at no point did she say Ivory lied about his age, which you'd think would be an important detail when addressing the person accusing her boyfriend of being a groomer,
The allegation isn't that Ivory lied about his age. I mean, it is for 3 random undiscovered sources. The allegation is that Pyro didn't ask his age and didn't know his age until Ivory was 16.
No, but Pyro also in the DM in the response cited these people, these screenshots saying that Ivory was probably lying about their age, right?
Well, he said that people have previously said he's lied about his age, and that he particularly.
But why would he point that out?
Because he's trying to discredit him, and I agree with you why that's bad. But I don't think it's saying that he thought the kid was whether the kid lied about his age in regards to telling him he was 15. Pyro in his response said that he. Didn't he say that he didn't know his age until the bio or whatever said 16?
Yeah, I mean, he said he came back on Twitter basically, or something like that. Sorry, he said that he was suspended on Twitter around the time.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't think Pyro says that that when he was 15, the kid lied to him about his age. I don't think that's ever said in the Twitlonger.
No, he doesn't explicitly say that, but he does cite examples of people saying that he was lying about his age as evidence to try to discredit him. Right? He does say that. And I think it's kind of crazy that he wouldn't acknowledge what his girlfriend said, which is the biggest kind of damning piece of evidence against Pyro, right? Because if his own girlfriend admitted it and there's no screenshots that Pyro has, confirming whether or not they lied about their age other than what some randos on Twitter said, one of which has retracted his statements recently. Actually, I think 2 of which retracted their statements recently. It's very weird that that's kind of the angle he's going for. And from an optical perspective, what Pyrocynical said made sense, right? He's saving his ass. It's exactly what his fan base wanted from a response, but it doesn't clear him of kind of culpability, I'd say.
Yeah, I see this situation the way I'm looking at it, and I think you've probably heard this spiel. I've given it a few times again.
Go ahead.
That we're in a position where we don't know definitively what age Pyrocynical thought this kid was when he was 15 years old. I don't think you could prove one way or another that Pyro knew this kid was 15 years old. I don't think that's.
I guess we can't prove it.
And I think
that's the opinion that there's
that's what needs to be there, right?
That's fair.
I mean,
I don't think he's
closed. But when you're talking about this situation in length, Pyrocynical. How do I explain it? All right, so.
The thing is, I don't think he's a groomer either way, regardless of what the age is.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that too.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think the grooming allegations were that bad. I didn't think that what was in those messages constituted for grooming. Now, people disagree with me. There are a lot of people who disagree with me, and that's totally fine. If that's what you think, that's, again, totally fine. But for me, I was thinking, all right, well, if that's not the case, then the legality. Let's look at the legality. And I take a look at the legality, and I see a kid who has 16 in their bio. A kid who had 16 in their bio. And then we have then we have Pyrocynical, who is 19 years old, right? 19, 16. That's the age gap that we can 100% confirm happened at one point throughout this instance, right? Pyrocynical says that he didn't know the age until the 16 portion came out. The kid said, I'm a minor, and then showed examples, whatever, saying that the kid said that he was a minor, right? Now, the problem with that is that in the UK and in the United States, the minor means under 18.
Right.
Regardless of the age of consent in an area, for the most part, when people are talking about minors, it's separate from age of consent. So when I'm in New York, when somebody says a minor, they believe 17 or under, whereas the age of consent here is 17. We don't go 16 and under are minors, right?
Right.
So, and in the UK, where he lives, I believe the age of consent there is 16. I see this as a guy who I cannot. I personally like. First of all, Vega, I know what you're probably thinking. If we're ever talking to someone and they use "I'm a minor," regardless of thinking about ages and all that shit, that girl's not coming home with us. You agree? That's where you stand on this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should have been a red flag. And Pyrocynical should have specifically asked this person's age, right? It's the pro-Jared incident.
It's not a
you're
situation
for,
where...
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a situation where, he did anything, like, I'd say super morally wrong. But from an ethical standpoint, it is kind of like Pyrocynical. What the fuck were you thinking?
And I think he agrees to that. I'll get to that too. But at the end of the day, what we have here is we can't prove this guy knew this kid was 15. I don't think we could prove that. And at worst, what we have here is a dude who's thinking he's talking to a 16-year-old in a state where he legally can have sex with a 16-year-old. In a country where he could legally have sex with a 16-year-old. And if you want to take it the other way, I mean, the kid lives in fucking Pennsylvania, doesn't he? The age of consent is 16 there, too. So how could you even have groomed someone who is legally allowed to have sex with you?
No, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I guess that's kind of a semantic debate that we could have,
if there are so many
between
other
us
kids,
and people
right?
who think the other way.
Because Pyro, in these messages we've confirmed to be real, has confirmed there's so many other people, right? He's done this so many other times, right?
You took the words out of my mouth.
Right.
I was about to say. I mean, my opinion really hasn't changed. I still think it was fucking around.
If this kid was fucking talking to 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds,
bitch, this should have been an
avalanche. There would be no YouTubers defending him. And we know for a fact there are people who know more than they're letting on, because we have people who are undisclosed sources who are talking about Pyrocynical's Discord ID, who were friends with him. If these guys thought that Pyrocynical was out here fucking sexting literal children, that shit would be everywhere, bro. We wouldn't have one example. We wouldn't have 2 examples. We wouldn't have 3 examples. With the amount of times that this guy has said he's been doing this shit, and most of these come from 2016, I don't think it's rational to think that he was out here patrolling the fucking place looking for children. I just don't.
No, that's fair.
And the last little knob here that I just want to tie off this little bow on is that when we're talking about Pyro, all of these allegations look like they've come from 2016. We have him literally breaking down, saying he's afraid his career is going to be over and that he's really fucked up with this role play stuff. You have a guy who hasn't even asked for nudes, hasn't sent nudes, hasn't received nudes. Even in the conversations we have, nudes probably would have been the fucking thing that would have been legally in the wrong here. That would have been the thing that got him, and there's no indication he tried to do that. I don't have a single example of this from 2019. I don't have a single example of this from 2020. It sounds like if he made these mistakes in 2016, he's course corrected in the last 4 years.
But fingers crossed for 2021.
Yeah, if it comes out in 2021, then I'll just go, fuck it, I was wrong.
And the thing is, Nick, I completely agree with everything you just said. And if that was all I had to see on my timeline, and I agree with what Vega said too, if that was all I had to see on my timeline, I would be like, okay, I'm indifferent, right? I'd be like, okay, these guys are right. The unfortunate thing is that people are taking it so far in the other direction that they're calling Ivory a clout chaser. They're stretching weird pieces of evidence to fit their narrative. They're making claims that they can't back up about them. And I think it's completely gone full circle where, it used to be we treat people with the benefit of the doubt, right? That's what I want. And now it's victim blaming. Right? Right, now it's victim blaming.
Well, I'm saying, Tom, can you agree with this? Or refute this, right? Just because clout wasn't received does not mean that wasn't the goal. Or
That's fair. It could have been the goal. I don't think it was.
What else is
well,
this
when
guy
I hear this dude
I mean?
talking,
I don't
see it. I think this kid's genuinely fucked up over this.
Yeah, I don't think there's ample evidence for a single person to say that it is clout chasing, unless it's just a gut feeling. Which, if you do have that feeling,
I'm not gonna say specifically that. I still think he wanted to fuck the guy.
Yeah, I agree. He probably did want to fuck the guy.
Fuck him over is what I mean.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that's clout chasing.
I'm probably not budging from that. You know what I mean? So I have my opinion.
No, that's
well,
fair.
do you think maybe he felt like he was wronged and then he wanted to do as much damage to Pyro's career as he can?
It's just like an ex-girlfriend. She feels like she was wrong, but she fails to see how crazy she was acting the day prior when she was trying to cut your dick off. You know what I mean?
And in this situation, it's like that analogy, but instead of how crazy she was acting, he just fails to see how what he perceived to be as grooming or potentially grooming.
Yeah,
was
I think
both sides. I think both sides probably have a point. If Pyro was fucking around and he was doing his thing, maybe he was doing a little fantasy talk and this and that, and this kid was taking it so to heart. He was like, "Yo, it's Pyrocynical. He's talking to me. Yo, we're vibing and all this," and he kind of just gets left in the dirt. I mean, if that's the only thing that kid's got going for him, obviously he's gonna feel some type of way about it. Pyro was moving on. He's got 80 million friends. He's got a successful career. He's doing his probably role playing with other fucking people. Got a girl.
Got his
now.
girlfriend. Yeah.
He's traveling the world. The guy's a millionaire. Like this kid, that's all he had. Probably.
No, I mean that's completely fair, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree. That
I don't
could
think
be
it's
part of
far fetched to say that the kid went ham because he's like, fuck it, let's do it. I'm Hail Marrying this bitch.
No, I
Fuck this
agree.
guy.
I agree. But I have seen a lot of really terrible videos about it. I think are from people who
expand on that.
So there are people who like accuse Ivory of clout chasing, while like all of their videos are treating everything that Ivory has to say with like no kind of like weight to it, while everything Pyro says, regardless of whether he has evidence to back it up, they treat as if it's like factually correct, which I find really cringy and gay and like ironically clout chasey.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. I remember when the accusations came out, people were like, even though I had seen evidence to show, from Discord ID verification that it was Pyro's old account, people were being like, I mean, some people say it's real, but does this really seem like something Pyrocynical would say? And like that's their argument. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dipshit? God damn, you make me so mad. Why are you so fucking stupid, retard? God. Like,
and also to clarify, I'm not trying to like shit on the kid or anything like that. That's just my point from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
So if I could be 100% wrong, all this shit you guys are saying could be right, but that's what I see. In case somebody else out there might be like, I don't know, that's what I see. Oh, okay.
I think there probably is.
There
probably is some truth to what you're saying. Though,
somewhere it's probably right in the dead center of all three of us. Like fucking.
Possibly. The ultimate centrist opinion is the correct one, as always. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think overall, I might do a video about this in the future still. I'm kind of.
I'd like to see that visually. I like to see you explain it visually.
Yeah. I'm pulling a lot of other things together. Yeah. I think that would be helpful for explaining my point because I feel a little all over the place in this podcast.
Also, a Reddit post. This is why I enjoy more people speaking instead of a twit longer, because I can see the mannerisms. I can kind of see, your facial expressions, how you're moving, how you're explaining yourself. The scripted out, sit down, talk to the camera, apologies, don't do it, right? Because everybody can smell bullshit. But if you get on there and say what I said is true, right? And he's on there and he's just like, yo, I don't know. I was just fucking around, dude. This kid's going. I don't know what's happening. This dude is claiming I'm doing all this, and I would be more inclined to be like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here. This kid took it too hard, and this guy, they're both. Would you say this situation would probably be they're both right in their own, in their own corners, they're both right because their perspectives kind of match the situation.
Yeah, I mean it's just not as black and white as the kind of Slazo stuff was, not nearly anywhere close to that. It's a very different situation.
Back in the day. Shout out
it
to
was
Slazo.
for sure. Shout out Slazo. He seems to be doing all right now though. It is just like a very. I don't like the comparison being made, and I think the unfortunate result of Nick and I's videos, which was completely unintentional, was that instead of people taking everything with a grain of salt and people kind of evaluating both sides, being like, okay, here's this, I'm going to do my research, wait to draw my conclusion. People completely jump to conclusions, right? But on the other side. And this goes back to the fact that, as Keemstar says on the Baited podcast, the audiences are sheep, and we are your shepherds, and we're going to.
I agree with that
100%.
So. I think that's the way they act.
Yeah. So that's kind of unfortunately the situation we're in now.
Also, a good lesson we can get from this is if you're under the age of 18, regardless of where the fuck you are on the planet. And anything sexual starts happening in DMs and all that, just stop.
Exactly.
Or don't even DM an influencer. None of that. Just stay out of people's DMs. Watch the videos, comment, interact with them in public. Don't get in a private situation with them. That's it.
Good idea. Good advice. Okay. Cool.
And also, YouTubers, same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I be in VCs. I don't know who the fuck's in. I don't know how old they are. I just am who I am. But I'm not sitting there, trying to do whatever the fuck. Fart in somebody's mouth or what. Whatever the fuck you was saying. I don't know what that was.
You don't want to get picked up by Pyro's sweaty moves?
Dude, I was arguing with people on Twitter, right? And then I'm like, yo, how is this grooming or whatever? Or how is this NSFW or whatever? And I was just laughing about it. And then someone sent me a thing. It's like, would you consider this safe for work or whatever? And it was like, I'll pick you up by your sweaty moves. And I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Oh, hell
this is just so stupid.
Nick, were we in a fucking VC? DC when somebody was like isn't that or a private call and somebody was showing the pictures? I was almost in tears laughing.
It's like, what do you mean? You
When
don't
I
want
was
to
seeing
fuck
this shit, I
that
was like,
gigantic
is
fat
this-
raccoon? Like, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't think it's pornography. No.
I thought it was
What
a
am I-
joke.
what-
I
Dude,
thought
Tommy
I
got
joke.
a tweet
I
from
thought it
somebody
was- No.
saying that if you send sexual content to minors and it's defined as genitalia and stuff like that, even drawn, dude, this is like a fucking fat raccoon or some shit, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's
the
fu- you know-
best.
Oh, yeah. Last
Sorry.
thing. I didn't want to. I think me and you got into it, right? We didn't record it, yeah? But me and you got into it about this shit, and then you brought me back around to usually I'm the motherfucker that's trying to stay centered with normal people. You came back around and was like, no, we're normal. These guys
These guys are
weird.
fucking
I was like,
insane.
oh,
Furries are
shit.
insane, dude.
I was like, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean there is some weird aspect of mental illness. One of my favorite DMs was they were like having like a decently casual conversation, and then Pyro just goes, "Oh, by the way, here's my dragon," and there's just this fucking obese like lizard thing with wings. It looks so disgusting.
I like
but-
random bullshit, but it's just like if it gets to the point where that's like the only thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're getting. Yeah, I mean you know.
I don't know. It's kind of weird
because
because me and like the right opinion. I'm real cool with him, and he's gay. I am not, right? But if he were to come out 5 years from now and leak DMs that we've had, you would be like, Vega, you monster! What are you doing? Or Tro, it depends who drops them first, right? Kind of leads the way, because we just say dumb shit to each other, bro. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all it
I mean,
is.
everyone does. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't take it in that way. I have no interest in men, none of that shit. I was a grunt too. That's how we joke around in the military for some fucking reason, right? And fucking that's just the humor.
Just a joke.
It's just joking around. And then fucking
Yeah.
if he was to take that personal, I wouldn't know it. That's what I was kind of sympathizing on Pyro's side more, because I was taking some of the conversations I've had with other people that I know aren't like that. Right? I hope so. Who the fuck knows? Pyro probably said the same thing about this guy. You know, like fucking none of these people are minors, but you get what I'm saying? Like I'm saying all this crazy shit, we're having a laugh, and then 5 years down the line, they drop that shit in public, and it's like, what? You know, like what are you talking? They were just fucking around, bro. What are you talking about? But I don't know. Apparently he's got a fetish. So
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to the 4th ever public episode of the Half Baked Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our Patreon to get in our Discord and enjoy the Patreon-only bonus episode, the first bonus episode coming out very soon. Check out our last episode with John Swan, as well as our 2 previous episodes.
Tom, it's probably already out. I think we've already released
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
episode.
saying. Like,
oh,
wait, what's already out?
get it?
No, I think that the Patreon episode's already
Be
out.
sure to check out our Patreon only episode. You
can listen to it.
on the Patreon pod on the Patreon. Thanks for
We're shitting in people's mouths.
yeah, we're shitting in people's mouths. We're belching. We're getting gassy.
Big fat ass furries.
Also, we got a few $50 Patreons. We should have those reviews out, or they might actually be out
Yes.
already by the time we get this thing done.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Half Based Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Turkey tongue grew me.